Hello, and welcome to the July roundup of 1001 Bookish Things. My name is Babongile Zulu, and welcome. So, as always, I have my key cards, yay, just to keep me on track and to not kind of slide off and talk about other stuff. Okay, so the books that I reviewed in July are The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I also reviewed a book by Leleti the Author called Peter Maritzburg, What Dreams Are Made Of. Now, just up front, just to let you guys know that that is or was my book of the month for July. So I do want to spend a little bit more time on it a little bit later on in this little video, just to tell you about who Leleti is and what the book is about, because it's absolutely amazing. All 898 pages of it. Okay, so the reason that I reviewed The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger in July was because I was kind of in between a lot of other books, and there was a little bit of time where we didn't post anything on the blog. So I decided to go back to a book that I'd read. I think I read it in about February. Because it is a classic book. It is one of those where everyone says to you, you have to read it, you have to read it, you have to read it. And it is. I absolutely agree with all the reviews that I'd ever gotten about the book. It's fabulous. It's crazy. It's surreal. It's I think it's just J.D. Salinger, and I think he was a man writing in his times, and having read all the way up to the end of the book where you just kind of like, whoa, what have I just read? And Holden Caulfield, who is the protagonist, just kind of goes through life, kind of one thing happening to him after another. So another thing that I reviewed was this amazing website that I've come across called AFREADA. Now, if you follow the blog and you know kind of some of this short stories that we've been reviewing, you'll know that a lot of the short stories that we've been reviewing of late are from a site called AFREADA, and it's an online African literary magazine where all these established and non-established voices, African voices, are coming through, writing short stories. Some of the writers that have been writing the short stories on the AFREADA website, and AFREADA, that's AFREADA. So please, at some point, go to this website and read as many short stories as you can. They'll blow you away. They'll make you cry. They'll make you laugh. They'll make you fall in love with reading and the lyricism of words and what you can do with them. And so I kind of reviewed this website because I think it's such an important space that they have created, a space where writers can come together and share and collaborate and contribute the works that they are doing, and is a space for readers to go on, audiences and readers to go on, and to really just kind of immerse themselves in these worlds that are created by writers that are amazing. I mean, stories from a woman who who accidentally flushed her heart down the toilet, and now her heart is wandering all over the world, and she is struggling to fall in love, and just, amazing. To stories where stepmoms and their stepchildren have to find their way in new cities, and have to deal with the child being diagnosed with cancer, and what the mother has to do and what the mother is willing to do to comfort the child in its pain and its confusion, and its trying to figure out what being diagnosed with cancer is all about. To stories about sitting in a city center, soaking in the sights and the sounds of people and the food and places and conversations. It's just really stories that you can just sit down for 15 minutes and read and rejoice. Rejoice about being African, rejoice about the joy of reading, rejoice that these spaces are created for us as readers. So lastly, I want to talk about PMB, What Dreams Are Made Of by Leleti the Author. Firstly, I want to tell you that what had happened was a week, no, not even, about a few days after we started the blog, we got a request from Leleti, the author, to read her book, see what we think, review it if we want to. And I kind of put it off a little bit, and because I was in between reading other books. So when I got to it, I kind of read the first chapter, I read the second chapter, and then the more I read, the more I kind of got involved in her characters. I mean, some of you who read the book will know Mandy, will know Dombentle, everyone calls him Dombi, will know Nati, will know Bro, will know Musa, will know all these characters that have just come together and have come under my skin, and these characters that I just, some I hated, some I loved to hate, some I hated to love, some, wow. So Leleti the author, she wrote the story about, so it is set in at UKZN, the Pietermaritzburg campus, and that is where she as well studied. So for her, it was, I can imagine, it was quite a nice journey to go back and to revisit and to relive her days on campus, her days as a living in res, going to lectures, etc. So it's just about a group of returning students and a group of first years as well, who kind of come in, especially the first years, coming in either wanting to change their identities from high school or wanting something new, something. Some of them don't even want to change. Some just want to stay the same. They're just there. They're focused to study. So it's interesting to get. It's a mixed bag. I mean, as you know, if you can think back to your first days in varsity and first semester, where it's just in a semester, so much happens on campus where there's people who there's just heavy drinking, there's scandal, there's sex, there's lies, there's deception, there's backstabbing, there's friends, there's enemies, there's boys, there's girls, there's just so much. But the more you read and the more you get to know the characters, and one thing that struck me in this book is Leleti goes so much into the characters' motivations for doing things, and that's such an important thing to be able to get to grips with as a reader, to be able to explore people's motivations, because it's one thing to say, well, character A did this and character B did that, and so to know that why they did those things and why they are the people that they are, and she writes incredible backstories for the characters, and it's such a great way to get to know the characters, to get to know who we're dealing with. So I just want to salute Leleti the author for writing a magnificent 898 pages of pure amazingness. This book is, I feel, should be in the hands of every South African who's passionate about reading, who's passionate about falling in love with characters in a book, passionate about South African authors, passionate about celebrating South African authors, especially debut authors, because she's a debut author and she's just very amazing. Thank you, Leleti. And if you want to get your hands on a copy of her book, there's no print book at the moment, but if you want to get your hands on the ebook, you can get her details from the blog, where I reviewed her book. There is a link to her author details, and you can get in touch with her via that, or just kind of email us 1001bookish@gmail.com. Email us and we'll put you in touch with Leleti the author. She is working on book 2, which is amazing. I think there's been kind of a call for her to write a sequel to this book, where we go into the second semester of everyone's kind of trials and tribulations and ups and downs and sideways. Who broke up? Who made up? What are people focusing on? What are people going back to their old ways, bad habits? Are friends making up? Are they walking away? The toxic relationships, etc., etc. So it'll be amazing to find out what happens to the crew and what happens to everyone that we get to know in PMB, What Dreams Are Made Of. Just a final reminder that you can find us on Twitter And on Twitter, our handle is at 1001 Bookish, and the B is uppercase. On Facebook, you can just search for us at 1001 Bookish Things. We're there. And on Instagram, we are at 1001 underscore bookish underscore things. And all of this is lowercase. So we also just once again, as we always do, love to say thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the number of followers that we have on Twitter, people retweeting whatever we tweet, people liking our Instagram posts, people reading. And we have recently gotten a reblog of one of the short stories, AFREADA short stories that we reviewed. So that's amazing to be able to spread the reviews everywhere so that people can be attracted and be more forthcoming to literature, to want to explore the written word, to want to explore South African authors, African authors, international authors. Just picking up a book and reading, no matter who the author is just amazing. And that's one of the things that we want to promote as 1001 Bookish Things. Just to read. Reading's amazing. We're bringing sexy back to books. That's all we want to do. And stick around for the August roundup. And stay safe and stay reading.